There are so many facets to the cluster bomb of hate that the Milnes and Carbonell authored that this can't possibly exhaust all of the avenues that they took. But they were dealing with a child who had complex trauma, who'd been groomed to obey Midwest sensibilities, who didn't want his parents targeted by the people who had targeted him, and was aware that anything he said that wasn't public relations for Pittsburgh was going to cause terrible problems. They hid and implanted neuroplasm, a personality change chemical, which was designed to cause personality change along the lines of The Exorcist, and they even wore name indexed it Burstyn, like Ellen Burstyn, who had been Edna Regularly until that film when she changed her name to make the movie. And on top of this, they imposed the scrim of complex Charlie Hebdo style satire and rationalizations for these gonzo, while also impinging Supreme Court style ultimatums about devil's advocacy in positions and making demands on who to represent. Meanwhile, they fed everything that their hostage said into Carbonell's mistranslation computers because they wanted to prove a point about computer translation, which he believed was impossible to accomplish. And created Warpo world feedback loops from perceived sensibility slights. In other words, people were killed because of mistranslated innuendo by the so called free speech movement. They said things like, let's have a barbecue, in defense of the team who had not only tortured me and shown me things that are unfit to even allude to. They were so horrific. The magazines that they had when I was hostage, subject to hallucinogens. This team made Flame Over Africa. They were saying as a joke, let's have a barbecue on behalf of Flame Over Africa. And they still are. This is Yoko Ono's team. The so called free speech movement, demanding absolute P's and Q's in defense of the people who attacked us, claiming that they represent the victims, largely with the blessings of the culture of the victims, as Seattle has proven, because they're able to bribe them. And people who are easily bribed are also slow to tell the truth. There are other facets to the fourth dimensional wizardry. They took symbols that they gleaned and used them as plottograms for domestic terror. Apparently, with the blessings of some very important people. None of it will ever make any sense. But I don't think that our society should give their blessing to sideways talk over conditions like ball burr, which have inappropriate laughter, and Parkinson's, potential for dementia, a person with brain injuries and a complex trauma, unless their goal is to make a joke of their own self sabotage and self destruction. I need time to think about what I say because of these shrewd operators, not because I'm hiding something. It's pretty scary, but it is also unbelievably sad.